Peace to y'all watching this video, man. Peace to y'all watching the video because it's been a while. I haven't been active because I've been getting to the bag. And I don't settle for nothing, family. You know what I'm saying, family? I get rich, and I get richer, But the only way to become rich is by not searching for richness, but becoming that. Living what you think rich is to be. Most people see rich as an abundance or as multiple amount of income. But rich is how you feel. Rich is a good feeling. That's why you must feel good to attract something that you want, People want to be rich, y'all. But you got to put the work in to become rich, But yeah, we're still in November. Y'all. So, take, this month serious, y'all. And try to get as much, whatever you're looking for. Because life is going to pass you by tomorrow if you let it. The goal is to become something. It's going to take time, but you can most certainly get it done, family. You don't want to worry about no one or nothing, y'all. Despite what the outcome is, because it's just your life, I'm giving y'all this video because, in the month of November, y'all, I could have taken it more serious and dropped daily, but I'd rather be, someone who takes his time and provides you with excellent feedback, knowing that I'm comfortable right now because I'm never comfortable, Comfortable is a drug, y'all. You don't ever want to be still, y'all, because, just being still shows you that you're just gonna wait. But if you're like someone like me, y'all, well, you don't want to wait, y'all, because you feel like you gotta take matters into your own hands, because then again, you're the one that's getting everything, or everything's coming to you because you're doing something, right? So whatever you're trying to be, whatever you are already, or wherever you're going, wherever your path takes you, it's good to just focus and never give up, y'all, because life is important, especially if you care about how you lived your life before you leave here, My birthday's tomorrow, but I might drop this video too, depending on how I feel, because time ain't gonna wait for me either, y'all, Just like everybody else is moving along, I'm moving along. But I gotta give it my all because I'm here now. And I might not be here tomorrow, family. So, the goal is to stand tall, y'all, and to become something. Now, you want to have the money. You want to have a lot of income. And you want to have something that's giving you that makes you feel good, But yeah, family, you must try hard, or life will try harder, But that's all I really want you to know, though, is that if you don't take this shit serious, y'all, well, when life shows you what it really is, y'all, it's gonna be hard for you, So, never give up on your goals, family. Stay here in the present and fulfill their duty so you can get the past and the future of 100-ness, But the topic I just wanted to talk about today is to live your life the best way you can live it, man. You're not here for nobody else. You're here for you. So with that being said, is do what you love to do. Do what's gonna make you feel at ease with life. If you wake up and play the game, play that shit, man. This is your life. If someone tells you, oh, you shouldn't go outside because you might get sick, or things might happen to you, man. It's your choice, you know. But the way to freedom in anything you want is by never being actually, you know, comfortable, because that's, you know, free space for you to do something with it, you know, yo. Whether you want to go to school, whether you just want to get something fulfilled, yo. Because it's all about this, you know. Yeah, you can talk or you can be something, but if you're not making money that's gonna provide you stability, yo, well then what's the point? Because that's what true freedom is, yo. Knowing that you ain't gotta worry about the materialism or that side of the world, because you want to live knowing that you are peaceful. But you won't become peaceful if you are still stuck on, you know, trying to, you know, find a need of survival for you. Because survival is feeling like you gotta, you know, survive. But you don't want to be like that, yo, because when you're in that mode, yo, you're in a desperate way to protect yourself, knowing that you might not be in a survivor, yo. A survivor's gonna do things that know what they gotta do, yo, because they're gonna survive no matter what, you know. And that's what you should be, yo. A survivor, you know. If you're a survivor, yo, well, you're gonna survive through anything, chaos, anything that's coming to block you, right? But you just want to stay at a calm with that, because you can't help everybody, yo. You know, I tell y'all this, and many others tell y'all this same thing. You can't help them, yo, because they might not see a journey like what you're taking, you know, and that's fine. You don't want them to feel like that, yo, because then you're not standing out or sticking to your goals, man. You know. But with these videos I drop, y'all, it might make you feel like I feel good today. Let me go ahead and do what I must, you know. I just cut the grass, y'all. Not because I felt like I had to do it, but because I feel peace inside me that made me want to go do it. You know, if you feel good in this moment you are in, anything you do, like I say, you would want to, or you would do it anyway, because it doesn't dictate how you are feeling, y'all, right? So you feel damn near exquisite, right? That's how you should be treating everything around you, y'all. You know, just like, you know, I go outside, y'all, and I water the grass, or I just might wash my car, right? That's because I look at everything around me like myself, y'all. If I'm clean and I stay like that because I truly love that about myself, I don't like a dirty person. Or, you know, not really a pet peeve, but that shit is a turn off, y'all, because someone who is not organized or tries to be that, it turns you off in the worst way possible, because, you know, what you are, like I said, you will attract. And what you are doing, y'all, you are doing that for a reason, because that's just who you are as a person or a character, right? So let's just say, you know, you go outside, right, y'all, and you know, you care about how you know you are looked at. Well, then you might wear something that's matching, y'all. Or someone who goes out wearing a mismatched shit, or just putting on whatever, well, you don't really care about how you are looked at in the world, right? But you should care, y'all, because, you know, you're gonna be looked at upon who you are, not what you are, because they don't know what you do. And if you want to be someone who's inspiring the world, y'all, well, it starts by looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing what the fuck it is that you diss or like about you know? So yes, if I truly am a clean person, a kind person, you know, and I see my car looking like it's shit from the outside, well, I'm gonna clean it, or I'm gonna try to clean inside of it too, because dirtiness attracts that dirty shit, you know? You don't want to be dirty, family. You don't want to be fucking dirty, because you won't get nothing like that. You know, all you're gonna do is attract that, family. You want to be clean. And that's what it means to really be someone of a person just trying to live, right? So think about that, family. You just want to think about that. You know. So let's just say, you know, you have a car. Let's just say you have a Challenger, a Camaro, or you know, you drive a Mustang, a Pony. You know. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody wants to put work into it, or they want to upgrade their car in a way to where it looks good with aesthetics or cosmetics. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Or they just might like internal, you know, the internal things of the car, which are performance, which are, you know, things that are gonna bolt on or upgrade it with mods, right? Well, in a way, you can say that's being clean too, because you don't want to feel limited by the things that was already put in your car, y'all. You would like to go even bigger and better, right? That's what I'm saying, y'all. You know, that's how I see life, and that's how most people do, because they want to feel like they're going faster, or they want to feel like they are looking at a car that they like. That's why people, you know, wrap their shit up, right? But yes, that's what it means, y'all, to truly love things around you, but not just your car, though. Everything around you, family. Everything, y'all. But you must get that first, y'all. You know. You must really take that shit in, y'all, and know that if I'm not clean, yo, well, how can I get a cleanful person? You know, you don't like clutterness, y'all. Clutterness, it's like being claustrophobic, you know. And that shit is, you know, it's not for everybody, y'all. But one thing I want to say is, you know, I love just being, just seeing, because you study things that you are paying attention to, especially when you are not talking, but heeding and viewing what it is you got to study, right? So whether you want to be something, you must really want to do that, and you must really be serious about it, y'all, because if you don't, well, then you're wasting your time. You know, nobody gives a fuck about what you do, y'all, and that's why I say, don't stop telling people your fucking goals, because they don't care. You know, they might just laugh about you in the silence when you are gone, or they might just, you know, downplay your, you know, just you trying to be something in front of you, y'all. And that's why most people, you know, just say someone projects that shit into you or onto you right there, well, it might lower your confidence or self-esteem, because you were trying to tell somebody what you got to do instead of showing them what you are doing. You know, showing someone will be better every time, because what they say doesn't dictate what you did already, because you're already something, you know. So you just want to be something, family, you know. This year is almost over. We're already in November, y'all. You know, the realest month out of all of them, and that's why, you know, it's just what it is, y'all. The truth comes out, and during the end times, which are the end of the months, because, you know, pretty much one more month after this, y'all, it's a whole different year, whole different scenery, and just, you know, a new timeline starts freshly. So instead of you know, just worrying about it and trying to live fast, just live slow and try to appreciate what your goal is to be, because the only thing that ages you is just constantly living that way. I don't really have a discussion or a topic I just wanted to get on. I just wanted to come on the camera, y'all, and give you a video, knowing that, you know, I feel good that I'm on the camera today, because I haven't made a video in a while, you know. So I just wanted to drop y'all some gems, or just remind you to keep going, you know. If you have connections, yo, you will get farther. But you know, like I say, man, if you want to upgrade your car, go ahead and upgrade it, man. Mod that shit out, and I suggest you to mod it, man, because it'll make you love your car even more, knowing that you put hard work into it, man. You know, so you want to mod your car out, man. Not just performance-wise, but cosmetically, if you are feeling that way about it, man. Say you just don't like the wreck you have, or no, you don't like your tires or rims. You know, those are outside. You know, you want to say situations that you must, you know, fix. But also internally, like you fix yourself internally by going within, you must want to fix the internally or mechanism of your car, and that's how it starts to run smoother, faster, and even better. Because how you are taking care of yourself, your car feels the same way like you, because it's living. You know, you just don't see it that way because you think everything has to be a human being or in a body like yourself. But if that's the case, how come your car gets you to A to B? You know, because it's alive, yo. It has intelligence like you, but it won't be as it. Salute, y'all. I'm back at y'all with part 2 of this video, y'all. It had cut off because, you know, it's a phone thing, y'all. You know, but not everything will run proficient. You know, you must stick with the problems and adapt to them, because you will feel better knowing that nothing should contradict how you are feeling in a temporary moment, you know, because you don't want to feel down for everything else, y'all. So the goal is to stay still, y'all, and be in motion every day. But like I was saying, y'all, you want to fix within your car just as much as you want to fix outside of your car, man. Because if you truly love your car, y'all, you're gonna respect who and what it is, because it's alive like you. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all or remind y'all, you know, family. That's why it's power when you fix your shit up, you know, family. But yeah, I just recommend y'all to, you know, try hard and fix your car up however you must, because it is power when you do fix your car, you know, family. Because you want to do even better things with it, you know. That's why I say, man, just to say I have a modded car, or my car is modded, right? You should want to do the same thing to yours, y'all, because, you know, it's showing appreciation to your car in a way to where you know, you ain't suffocating the engine, or you just ain't hurting, you know, the way the response is for the throttle. Because you look at cars like it's, you know, everything, because you are everything. So why not feel the same way about, you know, your vehicle when it gets you to wherever you are taking it, you know? It requires, like I say, some kind of, you want to call it food, or what the car's requiring, because your car runs on gasoline, you know, or ethanol, or just diesel. But those are all titles to remind you of what your car requires, you know. So just remember that shit, y'all. Stay calm, stay aware, and know that it's gonna be okay as long as you know, upgrade your life. Because as soon as you start doing that and taking care of you, you're naturally gonna just want to take care of everything around you, y'all. Or try to, in a way to where you can, if you are able to. So just remember, y'all, focus on your goals. Stay ambiguous in ambition. Stay with hella ambition, y'all, because you don't want to settle for nothing, y'all. You want to strive for things higher, you know. And the only way to do that, y'all, is to be somebody with a caliber that's not gonna say nothing about you, family, you know. Remember this, and take these words serious, man. No one defines you or can stop you, no matter what they tell you, no matter what they give you, or no matter how they treat you. You know, someone can laugh at your face or act like they're cool with you, but deep down behind, you know, you want to say their head to where only they know themselves truly and who they truly are. They're gonna be planning to stab your back, you know, fatally. So So I'll remind you, man, in these times, man, you must trust yourself, man. You know, everybody outside of you is a fucking illusion. You know, they're only here to cause or create chaos, you know, because you are starting stepping out of that fucking, you know, that box, yo. Everybody loves to be in a box, y'all, because, you know, once they lived in that box for so long, y'all, it's hell to climb up to heaven, you know. But heaven is a leap of faith, and that's something you must take until you get there, or until you see yourself what heaven is to be, right? I will be everything this world has yet to see, which in a way where I will become someone with all these fucking, you know, followings or followers, because that just shows you how much of a person you are impacting and inspiring, you know. To help someone is to remind them that they can do whatever you are trying to do, because they see you taking action on your purpose. So why not take action on yours just like them, right? Because two minds of the same minds think alike, you know. But let me remind y'all, in this game we call life, you just want to stay humble, stay underestimated, but never stop putting that work in. Whether you work out, whether, you know, you try to eat healthy, man, because that's all it's about, family. Being healthy, you know. If you are healthy, or you become wealthy, family, you know. So all I remind you is to be somebody. But yeah, family. It's gonna take time, but you shouldn't be worried about the timing. You should worry about the progression, you know. Progression creates, like I say, success. And success is in silence, y'all, because if you are successful, y'all, or only you are, not everybody else is, because they didn't help you. They didn't, you know, they weren't there with you through all the days you put that work in. They were outside sources. So they were all outlet plugs, while you were the one plugged into the fucking wall already, you know? And the greatest revenge, or the greatest thing ever to do, y'all, is to shit on the ones who laughed at you, or who thought they knew you when they ain't know shit about you, man. Because they can't focus you physically, y'all. You'll demolish them, man. Or, you know, even if they have to step foot in your presence, y'all, they gonna try to admire something that they thought once was, but they never knew shit about you. The only thing they did was they knew them. So they put their limitations on others, y'all, and realized the hard way. Especially when you're not the one who is actually staying limited, you're unlimited, you know. But people, they don't see like that, y'all, because then again, y'all, you attract what you are, family. Simple, you know, what it is, y'all. You can call this not biology, not aquatics, or just not regular basic science. Call this a metaphysical class, or call this quantum physics, y'all, because they don't teach you this shit. So you won't know it if you don't even know who you truly are and who you can become once you stop giving a fuck about this world and start living for you, right? And that's why I say, when you get out of school, y'all, or once you get out of just hell, y'all, being around people that you don't want to be around, y'all, well, no one can tell you what the fuck it is, y'all, because they gonna live theirs and I'm gonna live mine, right? And then again, I told y'all, stop caring on how they say you is, or what they define you as, you know, because you know yourself. So even if they was to laugh at you, or just feel like you weak, or, you know, you're someone that can't, you know, necessarily, let's just say, fight or defend yourself in a counteract, right? Well, let them think that way, but they won't try you at all if they walked or got around you, because, like I say, your aura, or the energy that's within you that you walk with, is already gonna let them fucking know what the fuck they are looking at, you know. energy is majestic, y'all. So you don't have to say nothing. But people ain't gonna just look at what the fuck they don't like, or something that ain't, changing a spectrum of what the fuck they think life is for them, because you are stepping out of their reality and what's where they're trying to question you, but they don't yet have a grip on what the fuck they are looking at, because not everybody knows everything about life, And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, family. You don't have to do nothing. You just must be. And you just must be silent, be quiet, and be violent in your own ways, y'all. But, I remind you that if I can, so can you. Laziness is not real. It's just comfortable, or comfortability is something you've been in your whole life. So it's never easy to break that. It's actually hell, because you're trying to change your surroundings with your reality. And if you can change that, y'all, well, you have broken all the shackles that were put on you, or you have freed yourself from a stage 5 prison, y'all. Because while there's prisoners still locked in a cage, you chosen to dig your way out that fucking cell underground, because you're underestimated. And I give y'all this: you won, because you're winning with purpose every day. You're winning with a bag that has your name on it, and you are winning because you don't necessarily care about the ones who laughed at you, but you're just doing it because you feel like it's your time now. So you don't give a fuck about whether they love you or not, because it doesn't matter now. Because where was they at when you started this shit, right? They could have won with you, or they could have had a plate at your table, y'all. But everybody likes results. Everybody likes this imaginary bigger and better thing, not knowing that they ain't shit, because you will never have that if you're not that way either. So I'll give y'all this: if you have watched to the end, well, I appreciate you, man. My birthday's tomorrow, and I might just drop this video today and drop one tomorrow, or I might just give y'all this today if I drop this on my birthday. So, if I drop this tomorrow, y'all, well, happy birthday to myself, y'all, because I don't go off of numbers, but I appreciate the day I returned to this planet to help the ones who are stuck with simpleness instead of long-term jeopardy, If I don't believe I can ever die, y'all, well then I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of what's to come, because everything is just the beginning of a new journey. So I'll remind y'all, thank y'all for watching this video, man. And I hope that someone has seen life differently, slightly, by just watching myself, y'all. Because I'm not worried about nothing. I create change by being the change, And if you're in shock, or you just are sending, problems, or trying to, put them on myself, y'all, well, you're gonna hit a brick wall every time, and it's gonna hit you tenfold, because you don't even know how far and how long it took to find myself, y'all. This shit takes years of hard work and practice. Just because you stay or you act like you are a peaceful being for a month or for a couple weeks ain't shit, y'all. Because you're looking at it like, okay, let me try it temporarily. You must be knowing it's a lifestyle. But someone will take this. For all the ones that have watched me and send me good feedback in the comments, man, I appreciate all of y'all, because this is why I make the videos, y'all. People, they need this kind of intellect, because it sparks their day up, So shout out to all the real ones that I know, or the ones that have, fallen away, because eventually maybe their ashes just might get up and be something too. Because, just because I tell you something and you don't fuck with it, well, being comfortable might just haunt your ass over time, knowing that you became older and you didn't do shit with that, but just live in, day by day isolation. But I'll see y'all on the next video, family. Remember this though: you define who you want to be. Your energy gives you that power over yourself, y'all, because your energy's gonna project who you want and who you are, you know? If I didn't have energy, y'all, I wouldn't have this car. If I didn't have energy, y'all, I wouldn't have a bag, or I wouldn't be someone who, in a way, you know, just, you know, people love to be around me, y'all, because I just am. I don't ask for much or anything at all. I like to become simpleness. I like to do it independently, or I like to help others if they need that. But me, I'm not gonna go to your door and knock on it for anything, y'all, because I know how hard life is. So if I found myself without anybody, what makes you think I'm going to somebody? No, it don't work like that, y'all. You just must be, act, and stay still, and everything will come your way if it's meant to. You know, family? And this video was called just appreciating the days that you are living in, because, you know, you must take life one day at a time, day by day. Be patiently and live accordingly to everything you love, because if time is never forever, well, you can't act like and stay in a time to where you can live forever, knowing that you are loving who you and what you are truly doing in this time, because you're forever gonna love yourself and love the things you did while you were here, man. So I'll see you on the next video, man. Until I get back on this bitch, I'll see ya. Salute.